Well, hello, welcome back to Tarot to a T. Today's reading will be for mid to late July 2023 for the sign of Leo. If this is the first time to my channel, glad to see you here. And if you're coming back, I thank you so much for coming back, and especially if you're a subscriber and have donated to the channel. I truly, really appreciate that. So it's been a couple weeks. I've been on vacation. So we're just getting back into the groove, and I am glad to be here. That's a whole lot of cards. And we just dropped one. We're not off to a good start, are we? Okay. Try that again. Oh, we got that 10 of clubs flipped over, so we're going to just shuffle again. So again, this is a general inquiry for the sign of Leo for mid to late July. We're going to look at the message that Leo needs to hear. Please supply us with the information, the wisdom, the universal guidance that will come in handy for Leo. Okay. We're off to a good start, I can tell. We're about into Leo season. I don't remember the date where it switches from Cancer to Leo, but I know late July and through mid-August we will be in Leo season. So I felt inspired to go ahead and start with Leo now that I'm back from my sabbatical. I'm also a Leo, so there's that. But I'm never biased. I'm open to anything that comes my way here in these readings. Okay. Before I get started, I want to remind you it's a general inquiry, so it may not apply to your situation. Hang out for a few minutes, see how it resonates, and if it doesn't, please join me for the next one, which will be for the month of August. Not just for Leos, but all the signs. So we're starting out with the 8 of Hearts, 9 of Clubs, 3 of Spades, and the 9 of Hearts. This is the 8 of Hearts and the 9 of Hearts. Wow. 1 second to absorb and to get the download here. So there's definitely stress and worry. There's something that's pulling in two different directions in the latter half of July here. May have to do with relationships, I'll be honest, because we have the hearts, and that's emphasizing emotions. Now, the 9 of Hearts is some kind of wish fulfillment, and also a completion on top of that. Like, and I don't mean like a relationship ending would not necessarily be a wish fulfillment unless you desired that, okay? Just want to make that clear. The wish fulfillment could be in another sphere that affects you emotionally on a deep level. You also have the 8 of Hearts here. This tells me that you either are or you're really thinking about getting out and socializing and having a good time. Spending time with family, friends. There's also potential here to meet somebody. It looks to me like you have a highlight here definitely on relationships in July in a very positive manner so far. There's also a completion here with the 9 of Clubs. Now this is some kind of something is wrapped up where you feel satisfied. We're going to uncover more cards and see what that's about because I don't have a lot of information. So just on the surface here, we're looking at an emphasis on relationships. Wish fulfillment is in your focus, or you're feeling very fulfilled right now. Which is very good, and you're focused on socializing, getting out there, and just having a good time, enjoying yourself. But there's a shadow being cast here with this stress and worry, so I am very curious to see what. But you've just completed something, so let's go ahead and from that point see what else is going on. We have the 5 of Hearts, we have the Jack of Clubs, 2 of Spades. These together are the 10 of Clubs and the 5 of Spades. So you went through some kind of breakup it satisfied you on some major level. So I'm just going to run through it here and emphasize it looks very positive from the get-go. Whatever this is, I think you truly desired whatever this was. There is some kind of physical separation involved, a change. If it hasn't occurred already, it is occurring, or it's you're like on the cusp of that occurring. But you also have the Five of Spades, which is the breakup card. Okay. Now, the Five of Spades also had the Ten of Clubs, which is a major cycle has completed, but the Ten of Clubs is very positive. That's about traveling. It's about movement. Usually, on its own, it talks about physically traveling, like going on vacation, for example. But with the Five of Spades, I'm going to say you're moving positively in some kind of more relaxed state. So you have the breakup here with the Five of Spades. That's the change. Also with the Five of Hearts, some kind of physical separation, okay? But with the Ten of Clubs, I don't see it as all bad. I'll be honest with you. Because you're moving in some kind of leisurely manner, if that makes sense to you. It doesn't exactly make sense to me, but that's okay. Take it how it applies to your situation. And don't convolute it or twist it. But you would know your details, right? That may ring true on some level. Moving out of a situation that is indeed some kind of breakup, some kind of split. But it's for the good, because the Ten of Clubs is always traveling for good, and the travel doesn't have to be physical. I can say if you're not moving out physically from a residence where you've cohabitated with somebody, for example, it could be mentally, emotionally moving from one space to another. And there is this Two of Spades that tells me this separation, this break, whatever form it takes, is pretty permanent. There's no reconciliation here with this Two of Spades. It's the opposite of harmony and connection. It's disconnection, disharmony, usually pretty permanent, honestly. At least at the moment, it looks pretty permanent. Usually around a person, honestly. Yeah. And it could have been a friend, doesn't have to be romantic. But it's like something that you got fed up with something, let's say. This is the scenario I'm getting. You got fed up with something, so you've broken things off, you're moving into this better. I think the travel is about mental space, but maybe you are planning to travel, which is fine, which is great, that's awesome. And you physically have separated in some manner. Again, if you didn't reside with the person, you physically have removed yourself from their life. But I don't see it all bad. I mean, because look at this. You're focused on your cups here, which is bonding with other people, celebration, spending time with family and friends. Yeah, and that's a complete leisure card. And again, this is your wish fulfillment. On some level, you needed this to happen, Leo. However ominous this is, there is a huge silver lining to it. And with the Jack of Clubs, this could be you for sure. This is the fire sign energy. It could be Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries. Could be like some kind of younger friend who's coming to your aid. But again, it could be you kind of having this fresh beginning, because the Jack is kind of in that that new start position, in that it's young and it's fresh. When it talks about a person, it can talk about a younger person or a less mature person. But since it is emphasis on fire energy, it definitely could be you kind of in this fresh start, because you finally have split off from something. Double whammy with the two cards of change there and separation. So we're going to go ahead and ask for more cards. Please clarify the message here about the separation for Leo and how healthy and good it is, apparently, and joyous in some manner, or at least satisfying in some manner. Okay. Might be too many. Yep, that's too many. Okay, that one just flipped out. Yeah. So this is about third parties. This is about being pulled in a couple different directions. There could have been a third party element to whatever this breakup was. A third element came into the picture, changed everything, boom, you're out of there, right? Or this could be you trying to make some kind of decision about what to do next. The 3 always represents to me being pulled in a couple different directions. Like, you may have a couple of choices. You may have a couple of directions you want to go. At the moment, you're a little indecisive about it. Yeah, so there is that. That could be what the stress is about with the 3 of spades, because again, the 3s, it's that tug of war. Jack of spades, you're not quite, well, this, I'll back up. This could be an air sign energy around you. This could be Gemini, Aquarius, or Libra. Or if it's not, it's you being a little suspicious, a little bit cautious, distrustful of, I don't know what, because not a lot of face cards came out here. I'm not seeing particular people. But you're a little bit distrustful now. And now it did come on right on the brink of this 3 of hearts. It's about not trusting your heart, perhaps. Not trusting what you want to do. Now you have this desire to really, you know, get out there, socialize, mingle, but you're a little bit hesitant at the moment. I am picking up that. Let's see what else is going on here for Leo. Whatever this isn't a bad change. I think it's going to be the name of this video. It's not going to be a bad change, even though it's for some people this would be bad, but I'm not seeing those deep dark emotions come out, honestly. Might be a little bit of, you know, pain, hanging on to the past, but it doesn't seem to be prominent. And yes, this is you. You've really taken control here. Again, this is fire sign energy. Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries. But I seriously, seriously think this is you, Leo. How fitting is that you would come out in your own reading? And the king does have dominance and control. It is kind of on the top of the hierarchy here as far as who can manage the kingdom. Who can, and do it well. There's also generosity and support wrapped up with the King of Clubs. Perhaps you're able to be more generous and supportive now that you're out of a situation that was holding you back. Or you could have a fire sign around you, so we won't knock that off the table. That could be the case with some Leos out there, that they have another fire sign around them that's helping and supporting them in some way through these transitions. Oh, 7 of spades, though. There is something that has come to light. Something you've realized, could be an epiphany of some sort, some kind of hidden truth, or something could have been revealed to you from another person. That could be where this distrust comes in, and not feeling so cozy about things at the moment. I think it's temporary. I think you're going through a temporary situation with the change that you've just gone through or are going through. It's all very new, right? So you're going to have these feelings of apprehension about the future. But I mean, I'm going to ask for a few more cards, but I'm not picking up that you need to be fearful. And with the 7 of spades, perhaps you've learned something that instigated these changes. Or something has evolved on its own and it's revealed itself and therefore instigated the changes. In either case, I think it has a lot to do with it. Now you have the 3rd fire sign energy here. You're all over the place here with the Queen of Clubs. Again, very much like the King of Clubs, just more subtle in its energy. It could be, again, another fire sign around you that's offering support and generosity in some way. Aries or Sagittarius if it's not Leo. But I find it very interesting that we had all 3 fire sign face cards come out. So it leads me to believe you're really in your power right now. You have it all around you. It's like your whole life is kind of maybe being influenced by outside sources, you know, the unseen, the spirit. of the fire sign energy, especially because we're right on the cusp of Leo season. It's like this is your powerful moment. This is where you're meant to be. And we do have a Jack of Diamonds. This could be a younger or less evolved earth sign, Capricorn, Virgo, or Taurus. If not, you're not dealing with somebody like that, because this emphasizes finance. You could be in a new financial situation, especially if you broke up with somebody. You know, you're having to rebudget. You're having to rethink how you're going to pay the bills, how things are going to be allocated. Nonetheless, there is some kind of indication of a new financial situation or somebody around you that's perhaps helping out with finances. Let's get one more card before we go into advice. Interesting, the financial twist there. 7 of Clubs. I would suspect with that Jack of Diamonds, so I'll pull that right back up again. I like to be visual as well as verbal. So we just had this about a new financial situation. I would suspect you're feeling a little trapped in your finances at the moment. This is the Prisoner card, confinement. A little bit of desperation, a feeling of desperation around trying to get out of some kind of financial situation perhaps. It's just kind of an internal experience, and the cards here are confirming and affirming that perhaps that's also something that's kind of floating around in your universe at the moment. Please, let's go ahead and ask for advice. Please give us some advice on the cusp, in the midst of these changes that Leo is going through that may have to do with epiphanies, needing to get out and socialize, and perhaps some such financial, not struggle, I don't want to put it that way, but just financial worries. Okay, we have the 6 of Spades. More cards of advice for Leo. 7 of Hearts. Big jumbled mess there. More cards of advice, please. Okay, Queen of Spades. The 4 of Diamonds. I like this. I didn't like these 3 cards that came out for your advice, but this is nice. Okay, we'll go ahead and address the first one here. This isn't terrible. This is about fate and destiny. So whatever's occurring here, you're being guided and advised. This is part of the path. Okay, this is part of your fate. This is the path you're meant to walk. Whatever events that are occurring, you have to trust that. You have to find maybe a little bit of comfort in that, and knowing that this isn't where you're going to, of course, this isn't where you're going to be forever. It's just a transition along the way, and there's major transitions. I'm not trying to make light of that, the major transitions, but it is along your path, which is refreshing to see, I'm sure. And with the 7 of Hearts, there's some pain and loss mixed up in it. There's a little bit of disappointment, again, around a person. I think it was whoever this is. Yeah, to be honest. And I do want to mention, because we didn't have a lot of signs come out except these fire sign cards, you could have been dealing with another fire sign, but the 7 of Hearts does usually talk about a person, but it could be the overall situation as well. Just disappointment, not earth-shattering, deep despair, sadness that you're going to have to grieve for a long period of time, but you are being reminded that you will be going through a bit of pain and heartbreak. That is just natural course of what has occurred, and you're going to be in this this hermit mode, or you're being advised to maybe go in internally and kind of meditate and kind of do some self-care, that inward movement. again, this is air sign energy, Libra, Gemini, or Aquarius. But with this person, and I do think it's talking about you, they're very reserved. They keep to themselves. They keep quiet. You probably are already in that mode, Leo, to be honest. But if you aren't, you're being advised to nurture that space. On the outside, you may seem distant, detached from other people, but that's not the case necessarily, right? You're going through this self-reflection. You're going through this process of dealing with this heartbreak. So that's a healthy thing in my book. Now the Four of Diamonds is very exciting because it looks like you're going towards some kind of windfall. Now it doesn't mean you're going to have a sack of money sitting on your porch. That would be wonderful if it happens. It could happen in some other way. You know, abundance can come in many different forms. And this is fantastic because it is going to really support you in some concrete way, and that it's going to help your lifestyle. So any of these worries back here, feeling trapped by your financial situation, for example, and maybe even this Three of Spades was addressing that, the stress and the worry. Because especially if you've broken up with someone, right, you have to support everything on your own. You're headed towards this. And that's fantastic. Now there is a little bit of caution with the Four of Diamonds to be careful how you spend it. You know, be wise. Take a moment. Don't go crazy. Don't go over the top. Any more cards of advice for Leo? Eight of Clubs. So you're at some kind of crossroad. Sorry about that. Some kind of crossroads. When this first popped up, I immediately thought of this Three of Hearts. About which way you want to go emotionally, in some manner. I don't think you're trying to choose between people necessarily. I think it's about following what you truly desire. So you're in a little bit of the crossroads energy of just kind of being sitting at that T in the road and not making a decision for now. There also is an indication with the Eight of Clubs you could be stuck on an outcome or an idea. So we'll ask for more here to see how that goes. Okay. Yeah, you're in a little bit of crossroads around financial matters, and that's understandable, especially if you're stretched a little thin. Again, you have 3 threes out here, so there's a lot of decisions to be made in your world. That's also what I'm seeing prominently in this reading. Besides changes coming in for the better, and lots of change, major change. You're sitting kind of at a crossroads. You're not exactly sure. There's some uncertainty around finances. Let's see what else is going on. Any more cards of advice for Leo? Jack of Hearts. Jack of Hearts is the card of being vulnerable and having your heart open. It's water sign energy, Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio. There could be somebody around you that fits this description. Somebody a little bit, I'm not going to say less mature, but younger. Perhaps that you can lean upon. Or it could be just the subtle way of the universe saying, have your heart open. You know, embrace that vulnerability. Perhaps that's what you need at this time. Even though that may be counterintuitive and you don't really feel like that when you're in this kind of hermit mode, this internal mode of not letting people in. There's an emphasis here on the opposite. Just kind of having your heart open. Perhaps you don't have to verbalize it. You can just be in that mode. You know, secretly. On the surface it may not seem that way, but internally you could. Okay, these popped up together. We have the Nine of Spades and the Four of Clubs. So the Nine of Spades is acknowledging some kind of major loss here. But the Four of Clubs tells me that you have achieved some kind of balance in your home life, in your lifestyle. Not sure how that's connected to your situation. I mean, I can make some guesses, but I don't want to go there. So you would know how whatever wrapped up here, okay, this ending has brought some kind of stability to your home life. I have a feeling that's why we have the finances coming out here. So there was something wrapped up with your finances where money wasn't being spent well or spent irresponsibly, and so it led to some instability in your financial future and your abundance. Well, that looks like it's changed because you have a lot of stability here with the Four of Clubs. It's actually a very good sign. It's not too exciting by itself, but since we did have the Four of Diamonds here, I am excited for you, Leo. And the Nine of Spades, again, is confirming you're going through a major loss. And again, a 9. You have the 2 9s that popped out in the beginning. So, completions. The good news is about that is behind you. And that's what you should focus on throughout the rest of July into August. Yeah. And this is all part of your path. And you're in a little bit of decision mode now. There's a lot of that throughout here. But I don't think it's a bad thing. While you go through this pain, you're going to be a little bit quiet and a little bit more internal, perhaps, than you have in the past. And I think that's okay with the Queen of Spades energy, because it's all about building up your abundance here in some way. Not sure how that's going to come in. It could be through your effort, or it could be an external circumstance. Especially if you've broken up with someone and you're like splitting up finances. Maybe that's what the Four of Diamonds is about. It's just going to put you in a better financial position. And I think that's the bottom line with that. Okay, I am going to end the reading here. Looks like you're going through a lot of transition. I wish you the best of luck. Hang in there. You can do it. Don't forget to give me a like symbol on this video to help my stability and keeping this channel going. And also subscribe if you don't mind. I would appreciate that. And I will see you again soon. Take care, Leo.